Hey, what's up guys, Sebastian here, and in this video I want to teach you what type of brand or how to know what type of brand to create for your e-commerce business. And you've been following my videos for some time, my content. You know that I've been preaching about like building an actual e-commerce brand for the future, like branded e-commerce, which is kind of like the name I'm using. And it's not a very sexy topic because drop shipping is what's sexy. It's easy to start. The screenshots that you see on YouTube, Instagram, and all the Lambos and all that stuff is usually related to drop shipping. But truth is, we all know it. We don't have to even discuss it. If you want to stay for the long term, you got to build a brand, right? You got to focus on the customer first. You got to focus on providing a good experience and having something that differentiates your brand apart from just being the first one to sell a trendy product, right? Because if you're the first one to sell a trendy product, anyone can get in. In dropshipping, there's a very low barrier of entry, right? But based on this, I've been having a lot of people tell me like, okay, you've been preaching about building a brand, but how do I know what type of brand to create? So what I want to tell you is, since this is kind of like a difficult question to answer, just because people build brands in any single niche, in every single topic, in any single industry, and you can do it too, it's kind of like hard to give you a specific answer. But what I'm going to tell you is kind of like how I built my own brand, how I came up with the concept. Okay, so the first thing is that I first started kind of like years ago, like 2.5 years with a general store, because I didn't know what sold, right? I didn't know what sold, anything. So I started with a general store. I had like 10 different niches, just testing products there, and I made one specific niche work, right? Which was the Dragonfly niche, right? Which, a lot of people test products there. I don't know if it works for them or not, but anyways, I started seeing results there, and I kind of like just immersed myself in that niche. And I saw that niche was mainly for women. So I kind of like narrowed down to women. So I started selling products there, and later on I found another niche, right? I also sold in the mermaid niche to more women. And then I kind of like got into the beach niche, which was also for women. And I had this kind of like main topic, which was, or the gender, which was women. I found it in every single niche that I went to. Generally speaking, I've been selling women's fashion products for the past, ever since I started on e-commerce, honestly. Women's fashion, I haven't been a person that sold like kitchen products or like garden products or like fidget spinners. I've never really sold that stuff. I've just sold women's fashion. So I said, you know what, I want to build a brand. I want to build a business that's not just like drop shipping. I want to create my own products. I want to have like a movement. I want to have like a monthly offer, like a more rich, not rich in terms of money, but like content rich brand that doesn't depend on winning products. So I said, you know what, I want to build a brand, but like, what should I build it about? Like, should I just take one of the niches that was successful for me and build it for that niche, which could have perfectly been an option, or maybe I took another one on another one, which those are perfectly, those could perfectly be options. But I decided to kind of like build something from scratch, right? Instead of going for a Dragonfly, brand or a beach brand, I kind of like created a concept based on everything that I learned from those things. So I created a store that's basically women's fashion products with a Costa Rican vibe that has a very specific cause of helping street dogs, right? Dogs that are in the streets and starving and have terrible health problems to find a home, right? So as you can see, this is not Dragonfly related. This is not like beach related. There's some beach to it, in terms of, we have a lot of beaches in Costa Rica, and a lot of people are gonna make fun of the word. I don't know if I'm pronouncing the word correctly, but anyways, you get the concept. And that's how I built the brand, right? We currently specialize on that, and we create our own designs for our own products using that concept. But it's not like I created a Costa Rican brand before. I just came up with it. And the reason I'm doing this is because several reasons. And you might think this is not related to the topic. It is. I'm gonna tell you why in a bit. I chose something that I'm passionate about. I love nature, right? I love like adventure. I love all the vibes that you find in this country, and I definitely wanted to put that into a brand that I was working on, right? I wanted to put all those good vibes, all that feeling, emotion that I feel identified with because I've been living here all my life. I wanted to put that into a brand, right? And then I said, I've been selling women's fashion, so I wanna throw in also that women's fashion part in there. So the Costa Rican vibes and lifestyle combined with the audience of women that already know how they think. And also I wanna start kind of like, I wanna have a cause that I love, right? I wanna help with the business too. So, you know, like there's a lot of brands that help like whales and like dolphins and things like that, which is awesome. But I said, like, you know what if I could do something that gets me more excited to wake up in the morning to work on my business? So I currently have 2 street dogs in my house, right? We saved them, one from a parking lot, another one from a farm. One was like chained all his life. The other one was lived in a parking lot near the dentist, and she got hit by 3 cars, got her hip broken, etc. So we created a cause where we help those street dogs find a home, something that fulfills me and allows me to wake up, you know, pumped to work on that. Because when you like it, when you feel passionate about it, you want to work 10 times harder. So that, hopefully that answers your first question. Should I like it? Should I not like it? I think you should like it. I think you should feel passionate about the brand you're building. And I think that if you have experience that you accumulated before and you can take that experience and put it into the brand, like my experience on selling women's fashion products, with the passion that I'm putting in, which is helping street dogs, with the other passion, which is nature and the good vibes from Costa Rica, that's awesome, right? I created something of my own that is very unique to my lifestyle, to my experience, and is differentiated from anyone else. Why? Because I'm Costa Rican and I'm putting that personal touch to the brand. And we help street dogs. There's really no other e-commerce brand that I think of that is putting like a percentage of their profits in there and really going extremely hard at it. So it's just about differentiating. Right? If you have a past experience, awesome. But if you don't, doesn't mean you can't make it work. Like that's something that I want to tell you. If you're saying, I'm not going to start a brand because I haven't started drop shipping, you're just basically lying to yourself. You don't need to start drop shipping to build a brand. I mean, it could help because it has helped me, but you can't imagine how many people I see on Instagram or friends from Costa Rica that say, you know what, I'm going to build a brand. And they create their own brand, they bring products, and they do a great job on branding, and they focus on quality, and they've never done any drop shipping. Like I have a friend, one of my girlfriend's best friends, she's like building a brand. She's never done drop shipping, right? Like she's creating the brand. So if you're saying, I'm not going to create a brand because I haven't started drop shipping, you're basically lying to yourself. And it's just an excuse for you to go and make quick money with drop shipping. You can build a brand that you feel passionate about, even if you haven't drop shipped. Now, yes, branded e-commerce is not so sexy because it requires more experience, more focus on the product, more focus on the lifestyle that you're going to sell, and actually focus on creating a movement rather than just going to Ali and going to best selling and promoting that stuff. Because that stuff doesn't require a lot of work or focus. I mean, you could perfectly outsource that, right? But what requires work and focus is like sitting down, right, with something like this, and writing what you want to do. That requires more focus, more time, and more than you would think, right? But most people don't want to do it, so they say, no, I want to start dropshipping first. So my answer to the question of how do you know what type of brand to create, I think you should choose something where there's demand, right? That you feel passionate about, that there's potential to scale, that there's some sort of pain and pleasure. What do you mean by that? In our cause, we're using our cause. There's great pain in there, right? There's great pain in the cause, right? No one wants to see dogs in the streets, right? It's very, very sad. And there's a lot of pleasure in helping the cause. There's pain, there's pleasure. There's a specific thing that differentiates the brand. That's the Costa Rican vibe and the fact that I'm Costa Rican. There's previous experience that I took from my women's fashion experience and I put it in there and I built something unique. Now I have someone working on the Dragonfly brand and all that stuff, but my main baby is the thing that I created with my own hands, right? And hopefully that answers your question, because there's not a specific answer. It's just, man, just choose something and go for it. If a lot of people say it's too saturated, it's not saturated, that doesn't really matter. Actually, saturation is better because it means there's money on it. What's more saturated than women's fashion? There's probably nothing more saturated than that. But I know that when I make it work, it's just exploding, right? I'm dominating everything because there's so much potential to scale. Hopefully that answers your question. It's not the most sexy answer, but I wish it was as easy as just telling you dogs is the most profitable, go for dogs, or cats, or it's not as easy, right? You just make anything work. If you want to make it work, you're going to make it work. Obviously, there has to be potential to scale, there has to be demand. It's good if there's pleasure and pain that you can leverage. But truth is, you can make anything work if you have the desire. And you should definitely be passionate about it, because if not, it's gonna be way too much work to not be passionate about it. I'm telling you, building a brand is not freaking easy. It's a lot of work, and you don't get paid instantly like in dropshipping, usually, right? If you like actually take the time to do it the right way. So you gotta make sure that you like it. That's so important, guys. So that's the answer: passion, experience, differentiation, expansion, scaling. All that stuff should be there, but you can make anything work. That's my answer. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you in the next training.